Coming up on today's Cowboys Report, Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs kind of maybe clapping back, but at least sounding off following Jerry Jones' comments. And we'll discuss what I don't like about the Mazi Smith update. We are still awaiting the inevitable, expensive, drawn out for no reason Micah Parsons contract. We are still running the Micah Parsons Pool. You pick the date Micah signs or gets traded or whatever. Venmo me at WhatGoingDowney $5 with the date you think it's going to happen, and we'll do a 50-50 split the pot for the winner. You can go to chatsports.com/Micah to see the entries in there so far. A lot of them are already past the predicted date, so you got a great chance to win. Take home is already up to $25. Let's get into the latest on Micah Parsons. By the way, I hate that we have to keep talking about this. I want to talk about the motion and Cavani Turpin stuff. We'll do that later today instead. Micah said he wasn't upset with any of the Jerry Jones comments, even though he did retweet J.J. Watt's comment about it. But he also said his agent has called the Dallas Cowboys, and the agent hasn't heard back yet, which is, concerning if it is only just the one side of the story. We'll take a lot of quotes from Micah. Here's some of what he said. When you go around the league, see these teams taking care of the best guys. I seen T.J. Watt, Max Crosby get taken care of. Myles Garrett get taken care of. He got 2 years left on his deal. You see a lot of people around the league getting taken care of, and you wish you had that same type of energy. Look, this is a common trend with the Cowboys, and there's more examples we'll discuss on it here, but it's not new for them to continuously find a way to drag it out. Here's more of what Micah said. He says, my agent's been reaching out, but at some point, another grown man has to be willing to reach out. Communication works both ways. That needs to happen too. It has to be on their part. We are once again doing this with the Dallas Cowboys, where the player wants to get paid, and the agent, at least according to the player, has reached out. Micah's camp has made it very clear they want a deal. So the Cowboys are just going to wait for no real reason. This is not the first time they've done this. They did it with Lamb. They did it with Dak Prescott. They did the exact same thing with Zach Martin. You can go ask Duke Mayweather about that. I don't understand why the Cowboys continuously do this over and over and over again, where they wait because they don't really have a good answer for it, despite being asked about it 18 different ways from media. In the end, it is trying to find logic in what is an illogical situation. There is no good answer because there just isn't a valid one that exists. And it does, in the end, create a bad environment for the players. You think the other guys due for contracts are not paying attention to, Micah hasn't been paid yet? Our best player hasn't gotten the bag that we all know he's going to get. Why is it so hard for him to get paid? And it also just allows for rampant theories and speculations, both, good and bad theories, I guess, if you can find a good one, to thrive. At the end, it is bad management. That's what it is. No two ways around it. You got Adam Schefter talking today about how, the Cowboys thought they were close to a deal until Micah got the agent involved. You can go back and watch our video in March. And I was like, hey, cool, this is great, but I've been around this enough to know, Micah's camp thought they were close too, but agents got to be involved, and if the Cowboys don't want to get the agent involved, there's not going to be a deal. Well, guess where we are in July? And guess where we'll be in August? It's annoying, which is a good one-word reaction for this Micah Parsons contract saga. I got a different one word that I think also works here, but I want to hear from you. Sound off in the comments, pinned comment of today's show. This is a good Scrabble word about disillusioned. And I think that's what Micah Parsons is feeling right now. I think he is, and he's kind of made it clear, he's disappointed that a deal isn't done already because he thought his close camp, thought they were close. Here's what Micah also said. I've been pretty consistent. If they don't want me here, then they don't want me here, and I'll go about my business. I understand the nature of the business. I'm here under contract. I'll have to perform at the highest level, but at the end, this is the business. If this is the end, this is the end. The same way Jerry and Steven take care of their family, I got to take care of my family. I got 3 kids. I have to take care of my own family at the end of the day. Look, I promise you this. Micah Parsons thought that this deal was going to be done already. I think both Micah and the Cowboys thought that they were close to a deal getting done. Adam Schefter said something pretty similar today on 105.3 The Fan. The Cowboys thought they were close because they could go around the agent. Micah thought they were close because all the Cowboys had to do was call the agent and get the deal finalized and done. And neither side did anything else beyond that because Micah's like, just call my agent. That's all we got to do. We'll get this done. The Cowboys like, we don't like working with the agents because that's what they always do every time. Micah thought it would be done. That's why he's surprised. That's why he's confused. That's why he's disappointed that we're here in the start of training camp and his agent can't get a call back from the Cowboys, according to Micah himself. He thought that this time it was going to be different, that it wasn't going to be like the Dak deal and the Lamb deal and the Martin deal. He thought it would be different this time because he had the now not secret meeting with the Jones boys. And they just didn't make any progress after that. So I get why that's frustrating. And now Micah's aware of that. He said when there's a chain of events of things consistently happening over the course of years here, you've kind of seen it before, so you don't take it personally. Like I'm getting treated different than anybody else. I don't take it personal. I just don't understand. This is not a good thing, guys. This is bad. Feeling like you have to fight tooth and nail to get what you kind of already agreed to with the ownership? Like what? It feels like you're not just fighting the other team out there every day, every week, every year as a Cowboys player. Man, you got to deal with ownership too. Brian Schottenheimer correctly makes a big deal over culture and how that matters for his players. This shit right here, this is a bad culture. That's not good. It does not lead to good things when it feels like you have to fight and claw and just work against yourselves because ownership isn't supporting you the way that Micah's not dumb. He said it. He sees what TJ Watt happened. What happened to Max Crosby? The Eagles are the gold standard right now in the NFC. This does not happen in Philadelphia. If Micah Parsons was an Eagle, which he doesn't want to be, but still, if Micah was an Eagle, he would have been paid already. And he would have gotten a record-setting contract, and it wouldn't have been an issue. But in Jerry World in Dallas, we're talking about frickin' Landman at the press conferences and not a Micah deal being done. It's stupid. We'll talk Micah, Diggs, and Mazi here in a little bit. This Cowboys hoodie is on sale. Was $55. Now it's $33. It's from Fanatic, so it doesn't really go to Jerry's pockets. Chatsports.com/DAL hoodie. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. I will give Micah some credit here. Trying to do it the right way, so to speak. He asked, like, hey, why you at camp? You could be holding out. He's like, I'm at camp for myself and my teammates. This isn't for Jerry. This isn't for Steven. This is for guys like Trevon, guys like Donovan Wilson, or Donovan Ezraku, and Sam Williams. Guys who know that I can, who I know that can get better by me being here. Look, I appreciate that mindset from Micah Parsons. I do. I think in the end, Micah's played this relatively well. Like, it's a hard battle not to win. I think as a fan base, we're very much at the point where, like, yeah, you're going to assume the worst with whatever Jerry says, fair or not. Micah's clearly won the PR battle that's here. It's stupid that we have a PR battle for every single frigging contract negotiation, but he's won the battle 10 times over at this point. His camp participation will probably stay limited. And he'll do some individual stuff. He's not going to do a bunch of the team drills. In the end, Micah is a football addict. I suspect this will probably go pretty similarly to, like, OTAs and minicamp where, like, he just wants to be out there and he's mad that he's not out there. The back tightness, come on. That's an excuse. It's a hold-in. It's fine to call it what it is. I think that's just essentially marketing from Mike and his camp to make it. The back would be instantly better if he got paid. And he'll probably do some limited stuff as well. But the backs, we know what that really is. It's fine. So will the Cowboys pay Micah Parsons before week 1? Can't do it before training camp. That's come and gone. Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comments of today's show. It's a jam-packed show. Let's go to Trevon Diggs. He spoke on Jerry's comments. Said he was surprised the Cowboys applied the $50K or $500K de-escalator clause in his contract for not being involved with the OTAs, voluntary workouts. Said he felt rehabbing away from the team was the right move. Even though he likes what the Cowboys organization does, he just felt that this was the right thing for him. He was asked, like, did you expect they were going to apply the de-escalator? He was like, no, I didn't expect that. That kind of hurt my feelings, but it's okay. Hopefully I can make it back in incentives. I don't actually think he's got incentives. Look, I have some questions over some of the other extra stuff that the Jones boys have said and done about Trevon Diggs, but the de-escalator clause is in his contract. It is built into it. And if it's there, you kind of almost have to use it as an organization. Otherwise, you kind of are setting a bad precedent that, we'll waive it for some people. So I'm not going to complain about the salary reduction for Trevon Diggs. It's in his contract. He knew it was there. Maybe he thought the Cowboys would be nice. Didn't happen. Some of the other comments from about Trevon Diggs, I do have some issues with, like, not even that they're wrong per se, but like, is that the best path of going about doing things? I think we're trending towards this. It's probably Diggs' last year in Dallas, which is a whole other can of worms given the fact that, his best friend is Micah Parsons. Is this his last year? 1 for yes, 2 for no. He gets a second year. Go vote in the comments. With all the different comments from the Jones boys, Jerry and Steven, it feels like we are approaching the end of the Trevon Diggs era in Dallas. They've made it pretty clear that they just didn't like how he rehabbed last time. Correct or not, they did not like it. The Cowboys, again, have let their money get mad. They paid Trevon Diggs a bunch of money. They got mad he got hurt. They didn't like his rehab process. They didn't like he was away from the team this year. It's kind of not that different from the Amari Cooper saga, or they got mad that Amari Cooper wasn't always out, that he didn't get vaxxed, that he was missed some practice stuff there. They let their money get mad at Amari Cooper, and they let their money get mad at Trevon Diggs, and when that happens, it spells the end of a relationship. It's not over yet, but that's the trend we're heading towards. Jerry kind of doing different drive-bys at Trevon Diggs and like trying to compare Diggs in a negative sense to the way he handled a contract after getting it to what Mike is doing right now. Like, that just is not good leadership. It's not. It's not over yet, but we're very much trending in that direction. We are 307 subs away from 218,000 here on the Cowboys Report. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Don't like this. Mazi Smith's weight has dropped again. This time intentional from the coaching staff, or at least very much clearly intentional from the coaching staff. He's going to play some 1 technique and some 3 technique under Matt Eberflus. Look, every single coach has always said since the dawn of time, we're going to adjust our scheme to fit the players. And then most coaches don't actually do that, and we're clearly doing the exact same thing with Mazi Smith, who clearly played better at a higher weight last year. Now we're going to have him cut weight again. I don't like this. Like, we've seen this experiment. It didn't go well. I don't understand why you have this powerful athletic player in the 320s, and you're going to go, well, let's just have him drop weight to be more upfield. We're not fitting the player to the scheme. We're forcing the player to fit the scheme as opposed to trying to fit the scheme around the skill sets of the players that you have. I don't like when coaches do that. J-Toy is going to be at this rate the only guy over like 310 on this roster. And that's if he makes the roster. Kind of feel like we're at the end of Fatties only here until they draw me back in somehow when they get a new DC in there that cares about big guys again. Is this a good thing for Mazi Smith? I think it's bad. I don't like it at all. But let me know what you think. G for good, B for bad. Mazi was better last year. Wasn't as good as a pass rusher. Wasn't asked to do as much as a pass rusher. But there were moments he played well. I mean, he had the good game against the Giants. Like, his issue has always been, I went back and looked at my draft notes, like, he's got the traits. Is it going to get there? He's a little bit slow off the snap. Like, he kind of stands up a little bit, but he's an incredibly powerful, athletic human being for his size. But it's all relative to his size. And if you take away some of the size, then you're not getting the same benefits there. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. The Cowboys' plan, once again, along the defensive line is going to be, let's be small. I don't like that. Solomon Thomas is like maybe 280 right now. Perion Winfrey might get some nose guard reps. Like, that's like trying to do that's doing the Neville Gallimore nose guard experiment again. I've seen all of this play out before. I don't think it's going to work. And I think I'll do a whole video on the defensive line room, but I am worried about it. That's the tease. I am concerned.